And I always try to have them with mentors so they can see if, the profession they really want to be in. Because the worst thing is finding out you don't like your profession, but your loans make it so you're going to have to just deal with it. Mhm.
I feel like it's still would have been, like, that would have that reassurance.
Oh, yes. Oh, you're stuck.
Yes, it's hard to pack.
So they enjoy that. So I always tell them to send me emails of what subject matter they're interested in or what field they're interested in. And then I try to set them up with where they can shadow an attorney.
Yeah, I've actually been, also getting married to someone, just very to the office and show them some case file office and assist. Hopefully bring them around and show them books like courthouse. If you're around, I'd love to bring them by.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna see if I can do that then. Cindy, is anybody else gonna walk off with your mics again?
Hope not. I'm gonna order something off Amazon
Mhm.
and set it up here. Now I have a little blue sign.
It's like, leave the mic.
Please return the mic. We finished the testimony. Something like that.
I talked to the jurors and they said they noticed you pull off your headphones. Like, where's my mic?
That, but I didn't want to say anything. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Where is the mic?
Rashad, it is Friday Eve.
It is another week down.
Everybody needs to be in their house by 10 p.m. All right, Rashad, I'll give you 10:30.
They could, yeah, they could. That's it. How you doing, Jack?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing today? It's like I just saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, you need to stand and let me know you're here. If you don't stand, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant will be issued for your arrest. All right, couple in the red jacket and gray, y'all need to separate that. This is not, Valentine's Day or anything. Oh, that's okay. The love you showing her in court, you need to be showing it on the outside. So when I see you walking outside, you all better be holding hands or something else. All right, in custody, we have Janet Silva, Ricardo Garcia, Randy Folsom. Every time I hear that name, I think of Johnny Cash.
Prison?
Yeah. Shelby. Oh,
Hey,
Johnny Cash. My mom's favorite song of Johnny Cash is one of his older ones. You know, the one I Hurt Myself Today, where he starts with that one. She's like, I really felt that. Shelby Rodriguez. Shelby Jean Rodriguez. Cody Salazar. Amber Salazar. Anthony Eduardo Marino Alvarado. Custody. Rita Amanda Dela Cruz. Rita Amanda Dela Cruz. Today is not starting off well. Moses Wamuyu. Custody. Jamarian Greer. Thank you. Jose Martin Garcia Corona. Garcia Corona. Craig Cantu, custody. Teresa Luisa Fria. Thank you. Thank you. Pedro Rodriguez. Christopher Cameron. Jose Cervantes. Alfredo Rabago. John Barry. Jose Castillo. Raymond Gill. Joshua Pollard. Gerardo Morales, Deandra Coleman, Channing McFarland, which reminds me of Family Guy. Marion Sullivan, custody. Ivy is in federal custody. Javier Herrera, custody. Frederica Simone Nelson.
Here.
Thank you. Bradley Galan. Bradley Tyler Galan. Celeste, is it Celeste or Celeste?
Celeste.
Celeste Wares. You know, I have a friend named Celeste. She said that's not how you pronounce that. But we're gonna find out. How do you pronounce your first name? All right, you're pronouncing it incorrectly. You know, my friend, okay, Celeste said, Celeste, you know Celeste Ramirez, she told me it's Celeste.
Yeah.
Am I right?
It's fine if you can say.
Thank you. See, I'm correct. Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I was correct. Guys, I'm trying to learn my Spanish. You can't be throwing me off. Rodney Patterson, custody. Dustin Murphy. Dustin C. All right, thank you. Bradley Galan on the docket twice. David Mendoza, custody. Brennan Short. Brennan Dane Short.
I think he's in federal custody, Judge.
All right. I wonder if he's related to Martin Short. Lindsay Hernandez. Lindsay Lorraine Hernandez. Joseph Daniel Krueger. Maybe he didn't get much sleep last night. But Sean, you caught the reference? Jose Angel Cervantes, custody. Shakidra Williams. Shakidra Lavon Williams.
Judge, that one was the, she was early terminated.
All right, thank you. Alexander Rangel, custody. All right, Krueger. Justin Keith Guzman. Justin Keith Guzman. Abel Fabala. Thank you. Jada Cobb. Thank you. Thank you. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh.
All right, thank you. Christopher Beltran, custody. Pedro Rodriguez. Sammy Salazar. Marion Sullivan, custody. Arturo Villanueva. Arturo Villanueva. Crystal Molina. Thank you. Juan. Help me out.
Barrows.
Thank you. Thank you. The double L's always throw me off. All right, is there anyone whose name has not been called or you came in late? All right, attorney, these are the rules. It's Friday's Eve. Let's follow these rules so we can have a good Friday Eve. Criminal Trial Division files are there. Family violence files are there. Just grab a file, place it on the table, have a seat. They're going to call you in the order of appearance. We have a measles outbreak, so they tell me, and a flu outbreak, and a pneumonia outbreak. So let's not just hover around people trying to infect people. Court reporter is here. When we're on the record, attorneys, please don't talk behind her. If you have an inmate in the box, just raise your hand. The deputy will move you to the end. Do not approach this side when we're on the record. You know we're on the record because I will have called the style of the case. If you have a client who's in custody, once you request your client, do not leave the courtroom. The reason why is because for security reasons, the deputies can only have a limited number of inmates in the box. And if you leave when your inmate is brought out, you're being selfish to your colleagues and not considering them, because that's going to be one less space that we can bring out. Ms. Abrams, that's the probation officer. If you have somebody who is seeking probation or somebody who's on probation and it's a motion to revoke, please confer with her. She's an integral part of the system. And if you don't, you're going to slow things down because I'm going to ask her thoughts and opinions anyway. If your client wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, even though you speak the language, you're going to need an interpreter. Let the court reporter know that you need an interpreter. Once you've conferred with your attorney, conferred with your client, then you're ready to approach the court. Just approach here, ask the clerk or coordinator to place your file here. Once your file is placed up here, just have a seat. Please do not stand in the aisle staring me down because I'm going to call you in the order of appearance. Please keep this area clear because the deputies are in charge of security. If the deputies have to charge someone and you are in the way, you're going to get knocked down, and I will write a letter on the deputy's behalf saying that I told you so. All right, everyone, it's going to be a great day. The weather outside is so beautiful, not too cold, not too hot. Sun is not just burning you up. So everyone, please confer. Let's have a good day. Yeah. All right, instead of the court reporter, ask the clerk or the coordinator for an interpreter.
All right.
Okay.
You can have that list.
Yes.
They just emailed it.
Okay.
My dad always had a saying.
Mhm.
He loves to repeat his sayings.
Yes.
I wish I had Charlie's pride and Johnny's cash.
I love that.
He said that for many, many
I
years.
like it. Norma, can you see if Charles Blank is in the building? If he could
Yes.
stop by? Thank you.
Good decision.
All right, thank you.
They don't have to. They don't have the states out here, so we hold it down, so.
And Norma, on this case, if you can put this case on the docket for, let me look at the calendar. And it's just for me to make contact with the attorneys. Yes. Find out what would be the best for Deputy Laura to bring them over since they're co-defendants. Now, I will tell you what, I'm looking at the week of the 17th of March. Or either we can do it the week of the 3rd. Not on a Wednesday. It would have to, let me see. It wouldn't be a Wednesday for me. It would have to be a Friday. And it would be Friday morning and it would be the first thing. Let me see. On my calendar. All right. No, I think we may have too many inmates on that. Oh, you know what? We can do it Wednesday, March 5th. Sure. Jason, could I see you briefly in the hallway?
But number one.
Okay, so if it's misdemeanor number of dollars, it's still, that's it's dealing with
They're the one that sent me over there the last time, we got months. Mr. New, Mr.
Sir, what you need?
You can be dealt some credit, you will get it back. Oh, it's Christopher Beltran. What a case number. It is DC 2019 CR 995. Yes.
This is really nice. Good change.
Thank you. All right, and for some reason, my computer has completely shut down.
Wonderful, thank you.
Data Cole. He has 3 night bags. We're gonna ask for those two. You're in rule on those motions. You notice that's the second motion to modify condition. Modify it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle.
See what you want to do.
Hello?
It's a summary.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, well, hey, thank you. Right here.
There's more than computer.
Oh, yeah. It's all.
Yep.
Javier Rodriguez. Teresa Fria.
Hello?
You know, you're on TikTok.
No.
My client called me yesterday,
Mhm.
screaming at me. Who in the hell broadcast this?
All right, who is on Jada Cobb?
Your Honor, that's Mr.
Yes.
That's Mr. Rittenhour's case. I'm still confirming with him on that one.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, they're not ready on this yet.
They have docket, they have a Greer docket. You know what's on there? I don't know. I'm gonna check. Text Google, girl. You text me. How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, good morning. Hey, what do we get?
I'm just like, well, I'm like, judge it. You're right. So I don't think I can.
I can add.
Shelby Jean Rodriguez, Jose Martin Garcia Corona. Okay. Sure. Justin Murphy, where? You need to be on the second row. Bradley Galan.
Judge, I'm present for him. I just sent him a Zoom link.
All right, thank you. Lindsay Hernandez.
Your Honor, if I may approach on that, she's currently in a inpatient.
All right, thank you.
We can fully file that.
All right, once you're ready, just have the file pulled.
Yes, Your Honor.
Joseph Daniel Krueger. Justin Keith Guzman.
Yes.
Arturo Villanueva. I'm gonna check and make sure that's the correct date. Yes. Because I think he has a jury trial setting, and I don't think that's today. All right, can you call the attorney and let him know his client isn't here? Yes, you're right, it is. All right, when parties are ready, just have the coordinator or the clerk grab your file.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a special thing.
It's probably a packet.
Okay. Did you see it?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Thank you. He was here, his mind is out there. Let's see that.
Yeah. It was said yesterday.
Oh, the attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garcia, he's out there. Okay. It's you and me. No, it's not. I'll grab. It's like all, now it's like all the way up. It's like impossible. Thinking about this. We, he ended up saying that was it, you know. They had your name. I don't know, it's right, like, find out what they tell you, because we didn't really know each other. And it looks like the first time I'd ever been around. I was writing stuff, that's what I told them. Two things. Yeah.
That was. This one maybe, this is kind of speaker. And I guess we can, I can wait on hands to it. This one.
Yes, we have so many, we have some here, and some downstairs. Thank you. Have a seat, man. I'm ready.
Charles, if I could see you in the hallway, please. Yes.
Not very good at the audits.
Morning, Jim. How are you? I wanted to see if you could put Lindsay Hernandez on the judge. Awesome. That's appreciate it.
The state's file wasn't here, so I don't know if the court's file's here. If it's not, let me know, I can go grab it. Got it? Okay, perfect, thanks.
It's the beverage cloth or?
All right.
Anything, can I get that 100?
All right, Norma, here's your. All right, Jose Martin Garcia Corona.
He's been transferred to ICE custody and I,
Sorry, he's been transferred where?
to ICE custody.
Okay,
So I'm not sure what the timeline is for him.
all right. State,
Yes, Judge.
on Jose Martin Garcia Corona, this is a possession less than a gram. He's been transferred to ICE. So what are we doing with this case? Is this case just gonna sit around forever? Because if he's, I don't think ICE is gonna hold somebody for a possession less than a gram case. Yes, so what are you planning on doing? Are you planning on holding this case forever, even though it's a state jail felony and he's going to be deported? Because ICE is not going to release him to come back here for possession less than a gram case. So what is going to happen?
On this one, I mean, let me talk to our supervisor, see what we want to do with cases like this, Judge.
Okay, how much time are you requesting?
Just like a week or 2 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this one, can you set it the end of March?
Yes, ma'am, March 31st.
All right, so we'll come back on March 31st.
Chief Judge, may I be excused?
You're welcome, thank you. Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Rodriguez, Metro.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I'm like, there's so many, I'm kind of. So many.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we're gonna knock it out real quick.
Who's here on Crystal Molina? Yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So where we're on this?
We
case?
have money today. We have
Oh, wow.
$5,000 in a
How
cashier's
much?
check, 5,000.
Okay, awesome. Then let's proceed.
Okay.
Ms. Abrams, on this sentencing, they have $5,000 for the complaint, and if you can instruct them where they need to deposit that. All right, we're here for sentencing, correct?
Correct.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 4065 State versus Crystal Molina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Nicole Thornborough for the state?
Monica Anna Guerrero for defendant.
And are you Miss Molina?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea to count 2 on December 19th. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment was to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $2,000 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $10,000 to DZ Industries. And you were to agree not to be employed in a capacity where you are in control or handle any type of funds that are not your own. Are parties ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Not right now, Your Honor.
All right, so my understanding, since you have the $5,000 cashier's check, and is that made out to DC Industries?
It's made out to Bayer County CSCD.
All right, so Ms. Abrams, if you can make sure that that goes directly to restitution. All right, then, so the remaining restitution amount will be $5,000, is that correct?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
And Ms. Abrams, on this case, if you could make sure they set up a payment schedule for her, and if she missed any payments towards restitution, let the court know so we can have a compliance hearing. So do you have any children?
I do. I have one son. He's 23 years old and a grandson,
All right, how old is your grandson?
a year and a half.
And what do you do for employment?
Well, I was doing accounting,
Okay,
sales, customer service.
so, I mean, are you currently employed?
I am not. I'm looking.
All right, so in this court, I require that everyone have employment. If they don't have employment, there needs to be a reason. For example, if they're on SSI, then they need to provide proof of that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 5 years. If you're able to pay off everything early, then the court will reconsider.
I just want to clarify that it's 4 years that we agreed on.
No, that's outside your agreement.
Okay.
It's just what is recommended by the state. If you complete everything early, then you can perhaps be terminated early. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But the key about this probation, you need to pay that $5,000. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors or in any occupation where you are in control of any type of funds. So you can't be a cashier, you can't do any of that. Do you understand?
Yes.
And to clarify for my client, employment with minors or elderly, is that what it was?
Home healthcare
Healthcare.
provider. So
Okay.
she can't be in any position where you're working with vulnerable people.
Okay.
So for example, the home healthcare field, you're not to be a, help someone at their home. You're not to take care of the elderly. You're not to take care of minors. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if you want to work at a fast food restaurant, you can work at a fast food restaurant. If you want to, well, you're really limited since you're not able to handle money. You're not able to be a cashier.
Right.
So if you want to work at a restaurant, you can work at a restaurant. They can give you your tips. That's fine. But anything where you are involved with exchanging money, you're not allowed to do.
Okay.
All right. If you want to be a hostess at a restaurant, you can be a hostess. All right.
Yes.
Or if you want to be a welder. So no involvement, no occupation involving the transfer of funds. And I'll give you 45 days to
45 days.
find employment.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. You okay? 100 hours will be waived if you decide to obtain a higher level education, or if you decide to obtain a certificate for welding or anything of that nature. You understand? And if there's something else that you would like to do to improve yourself, then just let probation know, and I'll consider deducting the community service hours for that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. There's to be restitution of $5,000 to DZ Industries. And that restitution amount, Ms. Abrams, is just what she will owe remaining on the $10,000. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
And I'll notate in the docket sheet that you paid $5,000. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. And can you tell the court, why did you take these fines?
I don't want to give you an excuse. It was just a bad choice on my part. I mean, I can give you the excuse.
No,
but
no, give me the,
Moving forward, well, I was a single parent. I know it's not an excuse because I could have got a second job.
yes.
But it was just a bad decision. And moving forward, I would like to do what is necessary by you and the courts and probation and move forward.
All right, and the reason why I asked that question, I asked that question so that I'll know if there are any other courses that are needed from you, okay?
Mhm.
So, Ms. Abrams, and I'll deduct another 100 hours from the community service, but I am going to require you to complete the MRT course. All right, is there anything else, Ms. Abrams? Is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
And did you sign it?
I did.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, in this court, to be successful, communication is key. If you're having an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, then you can always come back to the court and we'll figure out what's going on.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you
And
for
thank
your
you. You
time.
always dress appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Yes.
Just to confirm, what count we're going on that one?
Count 2. You're welcome.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Clients walk in, I was like, "You're Bradley so long."
Number, what page is Molina on? All right, thank you.
Okay.
Over here is this. No, did you rearrange these files or am I?
Yes.
Oh,
No, I'm arranging.
so there.
Yeah, that was the deposit.
Oh.
She put that on. That was.
Okay. All right, thank you. Because otherwise I go towards the bottom first. Lindsay Hernandez.
Yes. President, Your Honor, on Mr. Hernandez's
Yes.
behalf. Yes, Judge, received notice that she's in inpatient treatment. I got notice from the case manager there. She's currently in detox, so I know that there was some concerns that she needed to start that phase in order to get more meaningful treatment, Judge. I spoke with the state's attorneys on it. They're not opposed to continuing her matter, Your Honor. I believe her misdemeanor is set in March, and we would be requesting that date. I think it's March 27th.
Is it March 27th?
I think so, Judge. That way she can come on both and check in on both her cases then.
All right, Norma. On Lindsay Hernandez, can you recall this for March 27th? My understanding is his client is in detox.
That's correct, Judge. And I'll go ahead and notify him to relay that to her so that when she finishes checking with.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Joshua Pollard.
Ready, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2025 CR 0000286, State versus Joshua Dwayne Pollard. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Kelly Piddle.
and are you Mr. Pollard?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, you received all discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications?
No.
Mr. Pollard, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
You are, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with unauthorized use of a vehicle as a repeater. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses? Here are counsel.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Any witnesses? Thank you. The state would call.
Ma'am.
Did you understand you or your attorney would have the right to cross-examine any witnesses the state would call?
Yes, ma'am.
And you would have the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court does not have to follow your plea? If for any reason the court Gives you more than you bargained for. The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
yes,
Mr. Paulo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record for a moment. So part of your plea bargain agreement, you to plead true to enhancements for purposes, as part of your plea bargain agreement, you're to enter a plea of true to any of one or more felonies for purposes of enhancement. Punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. There are no applications. The state is taking in consideration 2024 PF 20093. And there's to be restitution of $1,700 to Liam O'Neill. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea?
yes,
State is at the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by citing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
no,
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And to the enhancement paragraph, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
no objection.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes,
A
ma'am.
right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes,
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
no,
All right. Then the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2024 PF 20093. There's a $2,000 fine. There's to be restitution of $1,700 to Liam O'Neill. And there's to be no contact with Christopher Adams. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
What do you want there?
All right, you're gonna have to start making changes. Otherwise, you're gonna look up, majority of your life is gonna be in somebody's jail or prison. You understand?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Judge.
Norma, which page is Pollard on?
Oh, it is on page 4.
Thank you.
No talking. Pollard. What are your people are out there?
They are.
Brown? I don't know. We haven't.
No, so I don't recognize me. Okay.
Celeste Alexandra Juarez.
Herrera, on that motion for continuance from Monday? Okay, thank you. Thank you. As soon as he gets out, we'll be ready.
Okay. Hello.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, so I'm in receipt of a motion for discovery and inspection. Did you review this with defense?
Yes, I have.
All right, any objections to any of the requests?
Just a couple, Judge, under section 1, I'm sorry. This is going.
That's good.
Under the first request, statement asked that exclude any work product. Whenever I meet with a victim, I do a summary of anything that may be bringing and provide that to them. Product, and I would not.
Our intent is not to ask for work product. My
So with
concern though,
regards-
my concern in general and not with Ms. Brown, because she is definitely thorough. And then as you'll see, I think she's gonna put in another disclosure. I think if there's a statement that that's not work product. And so her notes may be work product, but the statement is not. And so I just want to make sure that if there is a statement that we're aware of it, and then definitely if there's nuanced differences or differences between that statement and what we received, that we receive that.
Well, with regards to your notes, are there a synopsis of the meeting? Or are you taking word for word?
Oh, no, they're synopsis. They're literally just like quick jot down. Somebody will say something and I'll jot down 2 words. And then I'll go type something and I'll be thorough using thoughts and put full sentences together.
All right, the court then is excluding the work product. Counsel, if you feel if there's something, I can do an in-camera inspection.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, we're gonna go on the record in 2023 CR 2023 CR 8101 State versus Celeste Wares. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
State.
Defense.
Jason Todd for defense.
And are you Ms. Juarez? All right, so off the record, with regards to number 5, motion for discovery and inspection filed by the defense. With regards to number 1, the court is granting that based upon the agreement of parties. It will exclude state's work product, but if necessary, the court will perform an in-camera inspection. All right, with regards to number 2.
Judge, there is none to my knowledge, but if I discover that there is, I will disclose it.
All right, that'll be granted. With regards to number 3.
State has already provided a witness list to defense. The only thing is we don't have personal addresses for the victims due to safety issues. We have for the officers and the school professionals, we have the school addresses, the work addresses, and work information to the best of my ability. And if I find more information, I'll provide it.
All right, so the court, based upon the state's representation, Do you have any objection to not including the addresses of the complainant?
Well, Judge, I understand not filing it in a public record. I also, though, I don't understand the safety issue of disclosing it to defense.
All right, so what do you want to do with the
If she-
address? You want to go out to the address of the complainant? Is that in some way related to the alleged offense?
If there were reports we wanted to know if there's been calls to the house, if we wanted to do research on the complainant, we would not. That being said, we have the address of the complainant, so that's not the issue. I'm just,
All right, so you already have.
I have that address, but safety concerns for, if there's more than the complainant, we need the ability to research these witnesses, and we need the ability to know what's going on regarding their
Well, my
testimony.
understanding is the only thing the state is not wanting to turn over is the addresses. Is that correct?
So it's the addresses of the complainants, and I'd have to look around, sorry, I don't have my witness list. It's the address of the complainant and complainant's mother, guardian.
Well, he says he already has the address of the complainant and the complainant's mother, so that will be excluded. You already have it.
And
Yes,
the
sir.
personal addresses of the professional witnesses, but they are identified by the order placed to the best of their ability. And
All
if additional information comes, I will turn it over. I'm giving you your ready.
right, with regards to professional witnesses, I'm assuming the professional address for their business. You don't need their home address, do you?
We do not, just the ability to contact them and reach out to them if that need should arise.
All right, I'm gonna notate that defense has in its possession the address of the complainant's address, so that's not needed. So what I'm gonna order is that there is to be state, you're to turn over all the names and business addresses of individual witnesses. And if for some reason there is an address that you feel that you need, that is a person's personal address, just come back and we'll have a hearing.
Thank you,
But
Judge.
that'll need to be done, not at the last minute.
Understood, Judge.
Okay. Number 4,
To my knowledge, Your Honor, there is no informant in this case. If one becomes known to the state, we will disclose it.
all right, thank you. And let me ask you all this, is CPS involved in this or no?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so sometimes the confidential informant could be the person who reported it.
So CPS comes in after the initial report to law enforcement. I think, was it law enforcement or without CPS, I think?
I would have to look at the timeline. CPS is, we know who told CPS. I will say that. I don't think that's an issue in this case, Your Honor.
All right. Because if it is, then my ruling on this, granting it, I'm gonna rescind that because that's supposed to be confidential.
I understand, Your
All
Honor.
right.
I don't think that's an issue, though.
All right, and number 5,
That's to number 5, Your Honor. The only issue state has is.
everyone, please whisper. And everyone, we're on the record, so no talking behind the court reporter while we're on the record. All right, number 5.
The only issue is the rank and badge number of the police officers. Some of them have changed agencies, some of them have retired. I don't have all of their badge numbers or rank. As to what information is current and that I can provide, I will provide it, but I don't have all their historical information for what their rank was. And I also don't know if he wants rank at the time of the offense, badge number at the time of the offense, future badge numbers. It's a little vague for me.
I guess my response would be to that if she gets updated information and she's talking to her witnesses, if we get to the place where we're prepping for trial, we need the ability to know where her witnesses are. If she's, I have no doubt she's given us what she has, but if she finds out something new, I think we do
Okay.
need to know that.
So as far as where her witnesses are, that would be taken care of with regards to defenses number 3. So
Right.
do you really need to know the rank and badge numbers?
Yet the rank is helpful, but the badge number is important because if this law enforcement officer has moved to a different agency or within the agency, if we want to look them up and look up what they have, perhaps discipline or get information from the agency, I have found the easiest way is a badge number.
All right, so you don't need their rank.
I guess I don't need it.
All right,
It does.
so then if you have the rank, then give them the rank. But if you don't have the rank, then she doesn't have the rank. And it is vague based upon what she's stating. Do you want their rank at the time they were involved in this, or do you want their rank now? So if you have their rank, give it to them. If you don't have the rank, and if there's an issue, then just come back to the court. If you have their badge number, give it to them. If you don't have their badge number, then come back to court.
Thank you, Judge.
And I'll write that the defense is to approach well before trial if there's an issue with the rank and badge numbers.
And if you, Judge, I have my phone out, but I'm just taking a note.
Sure, oh, no problem.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
You're
For
welcome.
that indulgence.
All right, and then number 6.
There's no issue with that request, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
As to the motion and the specific order attached, Your Honor, I would just ask that if the defense needs to physically pick up any tangible items that are not able to be transferred via discovery, that they come pick them up here. They're in the building every day, and I don't have a work vehicle to take them to the office.
Okay.
And we're fine with that, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll put on here. All right, so State, have you gone through each order that they're saying they want 48 hours, within 48 hours of the time it learns or obtains discoverable matter?
Yeah, Judge, if it's within 20 days prior to trial, yes, we're gearing up for trial, that's fine, Judge. I'm pretty.
All right, so you've read through the order and you have no objection to the court signing the order as is, but the court will add the line that if there's anything that needs to be physically transported, the defense needs to come and pick it up from you?
That, and just with the provisions regarding the product, if that's somehow incorporated into the order, that will probably not be turned over without waiting for it.
All right, so if you all will write the additions to the order, the court will sign it. And then all of the other discovery has been tendered.
I'm sorry, what was that?
All of the other discovery has been tendered because the last time we were here, it was the complainant school records, CPS, any additional records, the IDR, dispatch received, calls for service, statement made by the school nurse.
So regards to those items, Your Honor, we had turned over CPS, defense police, there's items missing. We're going to send a more specific to Davina to specify those items and see if they're turned over. There was some body cam that defense believed existed. We asked about it. I just found out this morning that that body cam does not exist any longer. It did once, and no longer does. We're getting an affidavit of no record, and I've provided a written disclosure to defense regarding the revocation. As far as the IDR, CAD, all of that, there's one thing that relates to those items, and we have turned that over to defense. The nurse's statement was turned over. We clarified with the nurse or with the detective that the only statement made by the nurse was the nurse's reports. And so we've gone through each of those items. The only outstanding issue is the affidavit of no records for those body cam videos and the requesting the CPS to see if there is additional material that can be displayed or can be turned over. We did request all CPS records prior, but sometimes if you don't specify videos, documents, etc., sometimes they don't mind doing it.
All right. Defense?
That is an accurate depiction of where we're at, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what's going to happen, and this will be your last setting for discovery. And if there are items that are missing, or you see that when we have this next hearing, that there are going to be items that are missing, you need to subpoena witnesses to have them here. They can appear by Zoom if need be, but this will be your final discovery. And also on this date, if you have not, you'll need to tender an offer to the defense.
We are in negotiations with the medical and personnel. I don't think we have a firm one at this point, but we've been talking.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, recall this for March 27th.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes.
I'm unavailable on that date.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What is a good date for you? I was just trying to give you a longer setting.
I'll be back the following week, the first week of April, Your Honor.
Right. Norma, put this then on April 1st. And if you all don't have the remaining of the discovery, then witnesses will need to be subpoenaed to be here on that date,
I'm so sorry, Judge. What was that date?
April 1st. You're welcome. And defense, if your client wishes to appear by Zoom, your client can appear by Zoom.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate that.
And what page is she on, Ms. Ferguson? All right, if you can have a seat. Thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court as always. Just have a seat and the coordinator will bring you your reset form. And once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. You too.
I'm gonna finish the order and get that back to you.
All right, thank you. Brennan Short.
Present, ready, Judge. Or I should say I'm present, Mr. Short.
All right, where's Mr. Short?
He's still in Fed custody, Judge, and I'm gonna have to follow the sword, I guess, again. But I believe Gutierrez has been in contact with Norma. And she admits that she messed up again. And
Okay.
the person wasn't requested. However, I think she has all the ducks in a row now. She needs a setting at least 30 days out. And that's because PCSOs requires the 30 days, but everything is set up. All we would require at least 30 days set out when it's at this court's discretion.
All right, April 1st. All right, Norma, if you put this on the docket for April 1st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
All right, thanks, Judge.
And Norma, what page is Short on? All right, thank you.
So I.
Justin Murphy. Justin Murphy. Who's the attorney for Dustin Murphy? All right, Bradley Galvon.
Judge, we're here, Judge.
That's the order that she.
Sorry, Judge.
Super restitution.
He's in custody. Yeah, he's in custody of the county.
I don't know. I was like, you gotta verify.
Yeah, yeah, he's in custody of the county. We'll figure out that.
All right, counsel, you're on this side.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Why were you late for court?
I haven't been downtown or to court.
I'm sorry, what?
I haven't been here in a while, so.
All right, so don't be late again. You
Yes,
now
ma'am.
know where it is. You understand? All right, where are we on this case?
Judge, I have asked the prosecutors to take a look at the body worn camera. I think it was the version I have, I think is too short.
Okay.
Also, I asked them to look for Coban, even though the Senate Bill 111 indicates there is no Coban. It's kind of strange. It's a lieutenant doing patrol, which is kind of strange.
Mhm.
Also, there are some pre-file cases that have yet to have labs come back on them.
All right, what, these pre-trial cases, what are they?
There are 2 drug cases, Judge,
And what is the alleged amount?
4 to 200.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for discovery on March 31st. And state,
Yes.
do you anticipate having the labs back on the other cases? When,
Surprised before, surprised again.
all right, so let them know that I want to be surprised. If you can call them and tell them the labs are needed for that. All right, thank you. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Right. You can have a seat. Once you sign the reset form, you will be excused. And I can't believe you're in here with a Texas A&M top and you're in front of an LSU's Tiger.
I'm sorry
I don't
about
know.
that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have a piece of paper to you.
That's okay. We're cousins.
Thank you so much.
All I had. That's all I have. We have a commercial, we don't have space. There. Oh.
We haven't agreed with her.
Yeah.
Galan,
Salazar and-
thank you.
I believe he should be logged in on Zoom.
Mr. Galan, you need to show your video. We're waiting.
Yes.
All right, you need to show your video. I don't know what's happening with your client. You want to talk to him about showing his video?
I am sending him a message right now. But he may have stepped away.
All right. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 5005 State versus Pedro Rodriguez.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
All right, if y'all could approach. Never have parties announced for the record, for the state,
Rick Bader for the state of Texas.
for the defense.
David A. Garcia, attorney for Pedro Rodriguez.
Are you Mr. Rodriguez? Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Pedro Rodriguez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 5005 for the offense of assault, bodily injury, family, household on January 9, 2023 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
The state will be proceeding on its motion for adjudication of guilt and revocation of supervision. Violation condition number 15, on or about the 29th day of July, 2024, in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Pedro Rodriguez, did then and there fail to apply for, provide documentation of attendance, and comply with all rules, regulations, instructions, and financial agreements as directed by the court and or supervision officer and or the head of or authorized personnel of the following program, anger management program, violation of condition number 15.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
State will waive all other violations, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
You understand by pleading true to violation of condition 15, the court will find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 15? Is there proposed, the court will find violation of condition 15 true? Is that proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, is to revoke the defendant's probation on the case. That's second sentence 115 days in the Bear County Jail. No credit for time served. Final money currently, and it will be in front of the. That is the agreement, Your Honor.
All right. Has he done anything on probation?
He did quite a bit, I believe. He did pay some. He reported. He took a lot of urinalysis tests. Most of them were negative.
So why didn't you successfully complete this probation? You can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Pedro Rodriguez.
All right, why didn't you successfully complete probation? You're whispering.
Ran into problems.
Oh, what problems were those?
Well, Judge, he's currently been indicted on another charge out of this court. We wanted to kill this and move forward on that case.
All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will grant the motion. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. The court will sentence you to 365 days in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served. There's to be a $4,000 fine. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, the other case he has pending out of this court. Has that been indicted?
It was indicted just in January, in December, late December.
All right, could somebody give me that file?
And Judge, regarding this, I believe state was recommending judgment sat.
No, I'm not doing a judgment satisfied. And I'm going to give you a date for your new case.
And Judge, regarding the new case, we would just ask that the state look into the discovery of CPS records.
Okay. We are going to do that, and I'm going to give him a date. That way you won't have to come back. And let me see what page he is on. All right, thank you. All right, so with regards to this case, and we're off the record. This is for the 2024 CR 012355. We were here in January for CPS records. What's the stance on the CPS records? Do you have them in your custody? Or I should say in your possession? All right, other than the CPS records, counsel, is there anything else?
Other than that, Judge, I think the CPS is the records will allow us to look and see about any other allegations that were made against any other innocent people that were charged.
All right, we're going to call this back on March 31st.
Judge, I'm not going to be here that day.
When will you be here?
Anytime in April, Judge.
All right, we'll recall this for April 1st for discovery, Ms. Ferguson. State, you need to be prepared to tender an offer. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
That's in March.
April 1st.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you, you too.
My client said when I text him or anybody calls, it kicks him off. I may have.
Okay, I'll see if he's back on.
Yeah.
There's Pedro Rodriguez. All right, Galan. Bradley Galan. All right, Mr. Galan, you need to show your video. All right. So counsel, where are we on this case?
The CCA's website this morning, they still have not come down with a decision on the case Aaron Wells v. State in regards to the geofence. And so we're still waiting for a decision, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Recall Galan for April 1st. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You need to be here or?
No, he can be by Zoom. We're awaiting the results from, or the decision from the appellate court. And Mr. Bradley, you need to make sure your phone is working appropriately next time.
No, he's in the back, we just don't have space. We don't have space. That's not.
All right. And here's the line. Thank you. Jose Cervantes.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
We need the court interpreter.
Oh, the interpreter's here.
Yes.
Okay. We'll have to go to the admin and get a proper one. All right, so on this case, counsel, I know we didn't have our setting last time because you were in a jury trial.
That's correct, Judge. I was in a jury trial. And so essentially, this is my first appearance here. I'm Mr. Cervantes. We have received an offer from the state. And additionally, there's a bunch of discovery that I need to go through, including some child safe videos, I would imagine, more than one. So that's the reason we'll be asking for a reset today.
All right, and is there any CPS records in this case? All right, and then is your client a citizen?
Are you a citizen of the United States? It's a resident.
I'm a resident.
A resident.
All right, so do you need MAC for immigration purposes?
Probably do, Judge, yes.
Although with this charge, it's deportation, but okay. Ms. Ferguson, if you can make sure that MAC is on this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, then we'll recall this. What date, Ms. Ferguson? 30 days?
I can do April 3rd.
That'll work.
Is April 3rd a Wednesday?
Thursday.
Thursday? Okay. All right, we'll come back on April 3rd.
Do you have the link?
No, not at all.
All right, does he have any questions?
No.
No.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, before he goes back real quick,
Toma asiento.
we're gonna do a jail video call. We'll have more privacy to talk about.
Ricardo Garcia.
Siéntate.
All right, they're not ready on that one. Abel Fabala. Are you all ready?
Also known as.
Sure.
Reference to Mr. Favela, Judge.
Yes.
He just got out of lifetime recovery last week, and I had been dealing with Megan Galloway on this one. We were gonna speak as to what she was intending to offer in terms of the medical records to see about what kind of amount. But it's my understanding that she is ill. So we just wanted to get a brief reset so I can follow up with her in advance and make sure there's no issues as to what she intends to introduce for this restitution.
All right, we can recall it for, do you want to recall it for March? Oh, is that Mr. Fabala?
Yes, yes. I guess he was under the understanding, I think, that his case was called, but this is
All
Mr.
right.
Spencer. Sometime in March, whatever works best for the court.
So we can do it for March 3rd. Do you think Ms. Galloway will be back then? All right, we'll do March 6th.
March 6th.
Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall him for March 6th. It is Abel Fabala. All
Very
right,
well,
thank
Judge.
you.
Thank you.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes,
And thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, thank you, you too. And Norma, what page is Fabala on?
Page 9.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, on mine, it's just an update for the court. He's still in federal custody.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you asked them to pull your file?
Yes.
Okay. Herrera, Javier Herrera.
Morning, Judge.
Good
This
morning.
is, as you will recall, the gentleman we spoke to. I don't know what day it is anymore, Monday, I think, when we were here for the trial docket in the state. Mentioned their witness was pregnant and a flu, and
Yes.
I think they filed, I know that they filed a motion. I received a copy of it, so we're back on that.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2011 State versus Javier Herrera. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ashley Jones.
Defense?
Charles Blanc.
And are you Mr. Herrera?
Yes.
All right, this case was scheduled for jury trial, but the state wanted to present a motion for continuance. Defense, are you in receipt of the motion for continuance?
I have received said motion. Yes, Judge.
All right, and state?
Yes, Your Honor. When we were set for trial, we contacted our witness and she informed us that she is 38 weeks pregnant this week and is due at any moment. And so because of that, and additionally, our outcome witness has come down to the flu. Because of those two reasons, the state is requesting a continuance on this case.
All right, defense?
Judge, we're ready for trial.
All right, this is the state's first motion for continuance?
It is, Your Honor, and just for a little bit more context, our complainant is, if she is not going to deliver, her induction date is March 12th.
All right. Then what I'm going to do, Ms. Ferguson, if you would set this for a jury trial sometime after that date, defense, if you'll confer
I will,
with the
Judge.
state and Ms. Ferguson and
Yes.
let me know what the jury trial date is.
Yes, Judge, I will.
Mr. Herrera, I'm granting the state's motion for continuance. This is the first motion for continuance. And it's a good reason.
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you understand
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
court's ruling and why? All right.
I'll try her.
So just give us a moment. They're going to tell me what the date is.
Yes, sir.
And could you all make sure the court has the acknowledgement of discovery?
Yes,
Your
Judge.
Honor.
Yeah.
You have one? I know what I'll expect.
Do y'all want to set
May
it
13th is good. May 13th,
May 13th or June
5/13?
16th?
May 13th.
All right. Your jury trial will be scheduled for May 13th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Mr. Bach, if you all can make sure I have the acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Judge, I'll work on it.
Thank you.
Herrera's on his way.
All right, Mark Ivy. And what-
Update for the court, Mr. Ivy.
Oh, just one second. And what page is Herrera on, please? Page 6.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Much better. Whatever was going around got me for a few weeks.
Oh, well, you say for a few weeks. How long has it been?
So I was sick for 2 weeks. I've been for the other 4. So I'm in my 6th week. So I'm
Oh my
way
gosh.
beyond the contagious. I'm in the recoup.
Okay. All right, so on Mr. Ivy, state what are your plans with his case because he's still in federal custody?
I had an update just not even a week ago. He finally got sentenced.
Okay.
He's still in Bracketville. We're up for the court issuing a bench warrant and bringing him here to deal with this stuff. He does have a pending case in Maverick that the state has said they may want him first. These cases are older, but there is a pending case in Maverick that's older than these cases.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a date and you all have been conferring. I'm assuming. You
It's
have all
it's a new prosecutor, but we talked a few days ago. So we know we have to deal with this. So there's open communication. Judge, I will remind the court, depending on what date we get and when he comes, I have not had a face-to-face conversation with this man in 4 years.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a date. When do you expect the bench warrant to take effect?
The state has to issue
Yeah,
that.
yes.
Usually it's they require about a 30-day.
All right, so can you set this for in 40 days? And
Thank
state if you'll get the bench warrant done.
Yes, Your Honor. In regards to Maverick County, I'll also speak with Maverick County. From the notes, in that statement that I was being part of your honor, I think there was a prior agreement that go to Maverick first. Between your place.
Tell them we didn't agree to that.
I just wanted to make the court aware.
Okay.
It's April 8th.
All right, April 8th.
It's 40 days.
And Your Honor, is that a trial date or is that a?
That's for you all to confer, have discovery for him to meet with his client, but state on that date, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
April 8th.
Okay, we'll just see what happens. All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, he just wants to know if it was filed. Charles, he's been in 2024. Just the last discovery we had. Last year.
Want me to do one more?
It's up to you. You want Charles?
No, I mean, unless there's something new that has happened.
No.
It's been filed.
Yes.
The Spanish translator has another court to go to. I just finished. If you take up a case to make a quick announcement.
Oh, sure. Just let them know which one it is. You're welcome. Oh, no, I always tell attorneys because I know there's a limited number of interpreters that interpreters do leapfrog. All right, Castillo.
Castillo.
I take it to the back.
No, I haven't signed it.
That's what I was.
No, because they're supposed to do input everything into it.
I've turned that in, Judge, at your, we'll come back later at your,
All right, yes, once
Thank
I
you.
receive it, I'll take it up.
thank you.
If they have it now, I'll sign it. All right, in this case, is your client a citizen?
He is not a citizen, Your Honor.
All right, and if you all can make sure that once you get your copy from the back, you bring it back to me so I can input it in the system.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sorry.
Do you need immigration attorney?
We had requested that through the MAC
Okay,
several times, but I believe our client, after being admonished by Monica Guerrero, that he's very likely willing to go forward with something. We were here Tuesday. We got an offer today. We were with recall from Tuesday. Mia Castillo is asking for a week or two before he decides which offer he accepts. And he just asking for just a little bit of time.
all right. You want to bring it back the week of March 3rd or March 17th?
The week of March 17th.
All right, Norma, set this for a plea deadline date the week of March 17th. What date?
March 20th.
Yes.
And Norma, if you can reach out to the MAC and tell them that he's been waiting for,
Yeah, we
an
had-
immigration.
Right, and we requested it and re-requested it.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Toma asiento.
Deputy Laura, do you have Castillo?
Sorry, Judge?
Oh, I found it. Sorry. Cobb?
Yeah.
He's on here.
That's a good one. I have quick parties.
Hello.
Okay.
Morning, Judge.
Hello. Hi. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
All right. Where are we on discovery?
Yes.
These are three nightmare cases, Judge.
Ah, so
You
you're
have
here
the
asking
motion.
for the bond conditions to be modified?
That's correct. We did it once on January the 16th, changed it from no contact to supervised contact. And now you'll notice on page 2 in the center of it, I've got a response request from the CPS worker. They'd like to move forward with family reunification. The civil court has not issued a written order.
Just 1 second, let me.
I'm sorry, that's
Just a second.
that was filed back on the 13th. Each one is identical.
All right, so I need the order from the civil court. When did
There
they
is no
have-
order, Judge. The court is not, as of yesterday, they have not signed an order.
All right, so who is the children's attorney?
The ad litem is a Kathy Stout. I have emailed and called her and had no responses on the 7th of February.
All right.
I do have the CPS worker as well. And I quoted her on the second
All right.
page, but
Does anybody have Kathy Stout's?
I've
cell
got her,
number?
I've got her phone number.
All right, so if you'll give that number to Ms. Ferguson, or if you can call Kathy Stout and see if she
She
can.
probably won't answer me. That's why,
Oh,
that's
no,
why I
no, no,
said
I
she
think she
hasn't
will.
answered.
You know what, once you put it in the universe, then it's not gonna happen. See if
I'll get her.
she's available to zoom in.
All right.
All right, just have a seat.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Judge.
Who's here on Arturo Villanueva?
Yes.
Good morning. Hello,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Where's your client?
I'd like to make a proffer of where he is and what he's doing, and because it involves health matters,
Okay.
that we go
210.
off social media.
All right, have you talked to the state?
No, I have not,
All
but
right,
it just
you-
came up. I just filed my continuance and I can.
All right, so you need to talk to the state about his not being present and see if they have an objection first.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, who's here on Channing McFarland? Court is calling 2025 CR 0000513, State versus Channing McFarland. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Good morning, Judge. Dirk Ashball for Mr. McFarland. We're ready.
And are you Mr. McFarland?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Are there any applications?
No.
Mr. McFarland, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. McFarland, did you review the document entitled admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility
Yes,
and up
ma'am.
to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. McFarland, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 100 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit all the attachments.
No objection, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations
Yes, ma'am.
with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just ask that you follow the agreement, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say?
No, ma'am. I learned my lesson.
No, did you really?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
how old are you?
Almost 40.
All right, you should have already known your lesson.
Yes, ma'am.
And where was she picking you up from?
Huh?
Where was she picking you up from?
From the house.
All right, somebody gives you, your girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, gives you a ride and you end up throwing her car keys, and then the next thing you know, she can't find her car keys because you threw them in a grassy area. And then she waits for you and you're driving off in her vehicle. You know, people would say that's just very trifling, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't do that anymore. Court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 100 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Alexis Wood or Cassie, Cassie, Kynes, Kines. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go off the record. Here's the thing. You don't seem to be ready for a relationship. All right. No, I mean, it appears that it isn't, because you're getting angry throwing somebody's keys.
No, but it's a reason though, because she was drunk though, so you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
okay,
could have just let her leave.
all right, let's be clear. You were not doing this to stop her from driving because she's intoxicated, because you had no problem with her picking you up and taking you somewhere intoxicated. So let's not play those games. So you're not ready for a relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
In order to get yourself ready for a relationship, get an orchid. Get one where the blooms are on it, because it's beautiful. Search through the store, pick the perfect orchid, take it home. And when you take it home, read up on it, discover how to take care of it. Once those blooms fall off and it's not looking the way it looked when you got it from the store, make sure you're able to get it to bloom again. If you're not able to get that plant to bloom again, you're not ready for a relationship. And the reason why I say that is because orchids take a lot of patience. No matter when you follow the instructions, it say do 3 ice cubes. I learned you're not supposed to put ice cubes on it. It say don't put it in direct sunlight, but sometimes no matter what you do, it's not going to bloom again. So until you can get it to bloom again, don't get in a relationship.
So orchid is a flower.
Yes, it's a flower. And I'm serious about that, because the orchids will teach you a lot of patience. Don't cheat and go back to the store and get another one and pretend it's the same one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Judge.
You're welcome. Are y'all ready on Arturo Villanueva? Counsel, you said you filed a motion for continuance?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Do you have a copy of that? Do y'all have his motion for continuance?
I'll check it.
Aaron? And have you conferred with the state?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
State, are you gonna have any objections to his motion for continuance?
Oh,
When are you asking for this to be recalled?
30 days, Your Honor.
Is what's happening with him going to take 30 days?
Possibly, unclear.
Without feeling protected from information, defense counsel, documentation, he is in pretty bad shape, and there is no timetable for recovery in the state.
All right, is your client going to be able to appear by Zoom then?
Definitely not.
Well, I'm not talking about today. I
I
mean, at
would-
some point in time.
I would think, I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know the answer to that. I can give the court an update in 30 days and we can reset it then, and then we can go from there.
Sorry, Judge, the computer's just taking forever.
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
And then after this case, I'll take up Cobb. Yes. All right, thank you. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 0176 State versus Arturo Villanueva. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Daniel Vela.
All right, defense has filed a motion for continuance. It's not in proper order, but do you have any objection to the defense's motion for continuance? All right, the court will grant the motion for continuance. All right, counsel. So when do you believe, or what is a good date you think this should be recalled?
What about the like the 26th, Your Honor, of March? That's like 30 days out roughly.
Norma, can you recall this for the week of March 24th? All right, we can put it on the 24th.
One moment, Your Honor. Does it have to be on a Monday, Norma, or can it be the 26th? No. Well, maybe potentially my client, excuse me? Okay, let's do we do the 27th.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's okay.
And Norma, what page is he on?
It's on page 11.
All right, Cobb. All right. Hi. Hello, Attorney Sound. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Your Honor?
All right. So defense counsel is here on Jada Cobb. So in this court, she's charged with abandonment. And defense is informing the court that there's an agreement or an order that hasn't been entered yet on the CPS side, allowing her for supervised contact. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And do you have any objections to this court ordering her to have supervised contact with the complainants?
Just a moment, Your Honor. Current order is supervised contact. What we're asking here is unsupervised contact. It's our understanding that the civil court has agreed to that, but is waiting on this court to enter the full order.
No.
She is forwarding towards family renewal, and it's my understanding that Ms. Cobb, that there is a trial set for April the 19th. Reunification is expected before that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, she's not under oath.
Sorry.
So this is the court's
Let me ask
question.
that to Ms. Stout.
Well, no. We're not on the record yet. Here's my question.
We're asking for unsupervised.
No, but I want to know what's on the CPS side, what has the order that hasn't been signed yet by the court? What has been agreed to? Is it unsupervised or supervised?
Unsupervised, pending the order from the criminal court.
All right, now we can go on the record. Court is calling night mag number 764331 and 764332 and 764333. State of Texas versus Jada Cobb. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ashley Jones.
Defense.
Bud Rittenhour.
All right, state, the defense has filed 3 motions asking for a modification of the court's orders here. And they're requesting that the defendant be allowed unsupervised contact with I'm assuming the complainants in this case. Do you have any objections to the defense's motion?
We do not, Your Honor. This case did happen almost a year ago. She's been with CPS since that time and has been testing negative, including all of her classes. Based on the
email from the CPS attorney, and based on the guardian ad litem's recommendation, there would be an agreement.
All right, and to the guardian ad litem, do you have any objections to this court ordering unsupervised contact?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and when's the last time she was tested? Does anyone know? When was the last time you were tested?
Like 3 days ago, I had a hair follicle and a P test. I do a regular every month.
Okay. All right, then, based upon the guardian ad litem's recommendation, the court will then allow for unsupervised contact. Is there anything else?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. And where are you expecting this case, the criminal case? What are you all expecting?
Your Honor, the case is not indicted yet, so at this point, I have not reviewed it for an offer, but I can be in contact with Mr. right now on a pre-indictment offer.
All right, if y'all would make sure that that's done, because I would hate for the case to be indicted and then she's taken in custody and she has children with her. So at least if you all could give him notification if an indictment is coming. And then counsel, if that's going to happen, you can come to the court for a bond.
All right, Judge.
Your Honor, just so the court is aware, I do believe this is an arrest case initially.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
the
All right then.
indictment, she's not going to get re-arrested with the case.
All right,
Hoping
thank
there
you.
wasn't a change in.
Because I was like,
Some
because
counties
that's
do
the
that.
last thing anybody wants.
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Cobb, what I can tell you is if there are any issues, you can always come back to this court. Counsel, if there's some update or issues on the civil side, just let the court know.
All right, Judge.
All right, and thank you so much, Attorney Stout, for zooming in.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Always a privilege.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
All right, counsel, if you want copies of this,
I do, Judge.
then if you'll take it to the back, they will give you copies, and then please bring them back to me so I can put it into the system.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alexander Rangel. Good morning. Where's your client?
He's in the back. I was hoping he'd be brought up by now. Just asking if the bond be set, Judge. I have a recommendation from the state. We're in agreement with it.
What is what recommendation?
20,000.
Oh, your client needs to be out here for you to do that. Yes. Oh, no. I understand. Okay, yeah, no.
We're trying, we're shuffling.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me this once the client is brought out.
Okay.
Christopher Beltran. Christopher Daniel Beltran, who's the attorney? Who's the attorney for Christopher Beltran?
Hernandez, he's not here, Judge. We'll move him next and back along.
Christopher Cameron?
Rosa.
All right, counsel, on this case, where are we?
We have conferred, we have an offer that we have not accepted.
Okay.
It's our third setting, so we're still kind of.
All right, so I'm gonna give you all a plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge.
That's an alias of mine. That's not my real name, Christopher Cameron. It's Matthew Brown.
All right, I'll make sure this is on here.
Okay.
How old are you, sir?
43 years old, man.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Set this in 3 weeks. What date are you available, counsel?
Is the step after the plea deadline, the discovery deadline?
No,
Is it?
after the plea deadline day, and it's jury trial day. The week of March 17th. Is that good, Norma?
Yes, Judge, that's good. That's fine. We'll be ready.
All right, your plea deadline date is going to be on March 18th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether you reached an agreement. If you have not reached agreement, after that, it will be a jury trial date.
March 18th. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Great, thank you. And Norma, what page is he on? Thank you. Juan Caballeros. I know I pronounced that. I put a B in there. Yes. All right, come forward. Is this still going to be a contested hearing?
No, Your Honor. After visiting with prosecutors, about 3 different ones this morning, we have an agreement that includes taking responsibility for a number 1 that's in a different court. That setting is on April 1st.
Okay.
Prosecutors think we can get it done in the next 2 weeks. We can. It involves a JSAT down there, that's followed by a plea or true to that same offense up here for a withdraw and continue alternate amendment.
All right, so you all will need to tell me why I should do this, and we can get into that once you all plea on the motion to revoke. All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, and counsel, what court is the other case out of?
County Court 13.
Are you able to get that any sooner?
Well, oh no, well, it's set March, April 1st, but we're gonna try to squeeze it in the next 2 weeks.
All
We'll
right.
try to move it up a couple of weeks.
So what we'll do then, Norma, can you set this for March 20th? And then counsel, if it's sooner than that, just let us know.
Right.
Is that a good date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, you have an active warrant. Your attorney will need to take care of that.
Is there cell phone with you? Is there family members here?
All right, so sir, your attorney will talk to you about that and take care of that. But it's not from this court. It's not from this court. Ms. Abrams, that no longer will be contested.
What dates did you set that?
March 20th. No, it's not
It's
contested.
not contested.
I note there are 2 33s. One I gave you today is original. There's one that somebody else, so you got 2 copies
Okay,
of the one motion.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just got indicted on.
There's always something that jumps up and surprises you.
Celeste Wares. Oh, I'm sorry. That's been taken care of. DeAndre Coleman. Doug, I knew if you were here, you would be able to get in touch with Stout.
I'm useful. Judge, we just got discovery sent to us on the 20th, so I've only had it for 7 days. I'm still looking. I think I'm probably gonna have to do some investigating. So
All right, is there any CPS records involved in this?
I don't believe so because he's not a parent of this
Okay.
child that was his sibling.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Coleman for discovery. All right, April 1st will be your discovery date, and state you need to be prepared to tender an offer on that date. All right,
Just got
thank
it.
you.
Judge, what's that date again? I was looking
April
at the other.
1st.
Really?
And that's true. It's not April Fool's. All right, do you need anything, sir? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Jamarian Greer.
Morning, Judge.
All right, so as stated before, you were in jury trial.
I was in jury trial, Judge. Apparently the state has some surveillance videos or something, and there's multiple defendants here. So I need to look at those. I haven't had the opportunity to do that.
Okay. All right, Norm, if I can have a 30-day reset on Greer. All right, so we'll be back on April 1st.
Could I be April 3rd? The same day I'm coming back on Mr. Cervantes?
Yes. All right, we'll bring you back on April 3rd. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused. Yes. All right, just have a seat. Your attorney will bring that to you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
I had a question.
Yes.
For us, work.
Yes.
Possible, where that could work.
All right. Have you talked to counsel, if you confer with the state on whether or not he can work? Are you currently employed?
No.
All right, so that's something your attorney will need to approach the court with.
Yes.
If you can confer with the state and see if they have any issues.
Okay, Judge, I'll check with the state.
You have a seat, sir. And normally he says there are multiple defendants on that case. At some point, I guess we need to see when the other defendants are set. Yes. Who's here on Alan Abad? All right, where's he?
Mr. Bob is currently in custody in New York jail for a murder charge.
Yes. So, did you speak with?
With the state.
Yes.
I did.
All right, so he has a charge in New York.
He does not.
And I'm assuming this is the case with the no bond. No, New York, it appears on the because he has a violation report.
He does have a violation report, Your Honor. I do believe bonds are at 45 and 4.
No, I mean, for the New York case,
Oh.
he doesn't have a bond.
Oh.
That's my
according to
understanding,
this.
Your Honor. I know he was looking to hire an attorney up there to help him with that bond, but as of right now, he is in custody with no bond.
Okay, so the offense date is it's February 2025, and these offense dates are in 2024. So I don't see why his bond should be continued. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna issue a judge's warrant and remand him without bond on because I realize he's on a commercial bond. So I'm just gonna issue a judge's warrant, and then counsel, if you speak with Ms. Ferguson, we can see about having a hearing where he can zoom in if New York allows that. And then we can address the judge's warrant at that point in time.
Yes, sir.
So just have that scheduled, Ms. Ferguson.
Do you want me to try and see if New York would do that first before scheduling something, or schedule something first?
Well, usually what they will do, they want to hear it from the coordinator, but because she's the coordinator. But if an attorney just asks for it, normally they won't do it.
Oh, I see.
So if you want to speak to her about it.
Will do. Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Norman, here's that one.
I do know.
Oh, I'm sorry, just one second. That's the violation report. Let me just put it in the system.
If they supposed to tell us, if they do that.
And Norman, which page is he on?
He was off docket, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
On Tuesday, so I'm just gonna, since he was here, he.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
No, I'll keep in contact with you.
Actually, no, I might not.
Justin Guzman.
I'm present on that, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Is he on the docket today?
Well, I believe, yeah. He is on the docket.
Is he in custody?
Somewhere, we don't know.
Did we reissue the bench warrant?
Yes.
Around it or something, so
Yes.
he's not here yet. According to the system, he's not here.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do, and this is the last time we're gonna recall it. If we have to recall it again, then we need whoever that sheriff's in that county to be present. So Norma, recall this for the week of March 24th.
Yes, sir. Point seven, Judge.
All right, we're gonna come back on March 27th.
That'll be fine.
And what page is he on?
He's on page 9.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll bring him back on March 27th, and if for some reason he is still not here, we're gonna have to subpoena some sheriffs to have them here and explain that.
I'd like to be here for that.
All right, thank you. Oh, you all will do the subpoenaing part.
Oh.
That's fine.
All right, who is here on Barry? Court is calling 2024 CR 012861 State versus John Cowan Berry. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Renee Munoz.
And are you Mr. Berry?
Yes, ma'am.
And counsel, are there applications in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, there are applications.
All right. Ms. Abrams, there's an application.
Thank you, Judge.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Berry, did you review the document entitled Application of Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, on the dating count two, the prior conviction date should read 22nd of November 2022 rather than 22nd of January. State wants to amend the information. State waives the repeat offender enhancement allegation.
And defense has no objections to those changes being made, Your Honor.
All right, do you understand the state is asking that a substantive change be made to the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare for trial?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And are you waiving those rights and do you wish to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And the state is proceeding only on count two. Did you review the documents entitled admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest detention with a previous conviction as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. And you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, Your
And
Honor.
did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
that is correct, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Berry, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am, Your
Are
Honor.
you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. Punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea.
That's correct, Judge.
State is at the plea. Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Okay. Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be no contact with Target and Academy Sports and Outdoors, and a referral to felony drug court. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence. Did you review the waiver? I'm sorry, any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am. I understand, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If we may, Your Honor.
All right, state, they say that there is a restitution amount in the police report. Well, let me take that back. Is there any restitution from the Target or Academy?
Your Honor, merchandise was recovered.
That is our understanding as well, Judge.
All right. Anything else you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're respectfully requesting that the court follow this plea bargain agreement. My client was not without his struggles and faults. He has been battling some issues related to mental health as well as substance use. He is willing and able to make a change, in my opinion, and will work any programs that the court deems suitable as far as treatments or other conditions of community supervision. He did want me to ask the court if he could be allowed to make the appointments out of custody, as he has a place to live. And he stated that he would definitely make all appointments as scheduled as far as a potential TAP or mental health evaluation. I notified him that would be up to the court. But aside from that, Your Honor, we're just requesting that this honorable court follow the plea bargain recommendation.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have one daughter. She's 14.
All right. And does she live with you or no?
Not right now.
When's the last time you had contact with her?
Just right before I was incarcerated.
And how often have you been using?
Just like once or twice a month.
All right. We're not here for once or twice a month they're using. People don't pick up, these theft cases and running away from the police for
Correct.
once or twice a month. And in the police report, it said that you had drugs on you. So again, how much are you using?
Every day.
All right. So why are you being dishonest?
I was thinking about the visit. I'm sorry. I was.
All right. So what drugs have you been using every day before you were taken into custody?
Meth.
All right. And how far did you go in school?
I had my GED.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years, and state your excuse. In custody, the following is to occur: a referral to felony drug court, TAP evaluation, MIC evaluation, follow TAP results. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order the theft course. Once he completes that, 100 hours will be deducted. And then there's 100 hours if he decides to better himself through a trade school or counsel. If there's something else that he does to better himself, just bring it to the court and I'll consider that as community service hours.
Yes, Your Honor, will do. Thank you for that.
Otherwise, you're going to end up picking up trash off the side of the street.
I understand.
There's to be no contact with Target or Academy Sports and outdoors. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 8 months. Probation, is there anything else? I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Anything else, probation? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, probation, there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. All right, we can go off the record. In this court, in order to be successful, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel like you're going to use, let your probation officer know, and
Yes,
we'll take it up. If for any reason you feel as though they're not addressing your issues, you can always come back to court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a seat, sir.
Beltran, Daniel Beltran. All right, if you'll come down, court is calling 2019 CR 9959 State versus Daniel Beltran. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Tony Hernandez, Your Honor, and I believe it's Christopher Daniel Beltran.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And are you Christopher Daniel Beltran?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Beltran, did you review the documents entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision? And also First Amended Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and state's pending motion to supplement motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney. Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And counsel, you'll need to do a trial court certification.
We did it.
No, this is the old one.
Oh,
This is the
that's-
one I have.
They printed one out, Judge, and I gave you, that's the only one they. there's
Oh, no, we
forms.
have some now.
Oh, they gave me one from the back earlier today.
Okay.
That's the one we signed.
I do not have it. All right. Are you the same Christopher Daniel Beltran who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 9959 for the offense of burglary of a habitation on January 21st, 2020 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. State,
Commissioner, violated condition number 41 on or about the 18th day of March 2023, Belron County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Daniel Bexar, living there, failed to comply with.
just like that. Oh, thank you.
My rock and roll, Your Honor, not a problem.
All right, thank you.
Then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of county drug court by failing to call the urinalysis line in violation of 31.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We'll waive the remaining violated condition.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you entered a plea to counts 1 and count 2. So that will be true, and that will relates to counts 1 and counts 2. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, the court will find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not. Stated as revocation.
All right, and defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're requesting the court continue him on his deferred adjudication.
Why should I do that?
Your Honor, it's in summary, and we have his father here today to testify for him. Christopher has been on deferred adjudication since 2020. During that 5-year period, he has spent most of that 5-year period either incarcerated or in a safety program. He's been to safety twice, Judge. He has over 311 days, or about 311 days in jail. During the interim, Judge, he's also so we're clear with the court, Judge. He's in April of 2023. He was arrested in Del Rio and charged with a federal case of transporting aliens he'd gotten involved in something with his uncle. He has sat out 21 months on that particular case, and he's been incarcerated that entire time. He's 27 years old now, Judge. He's had significant opportunity to assess his life, and he has told me, and his father has confirmed, that he is much different now than he was 21 months ago. What has happened is that he's realized the importance of his children in his life, the importance of being a role model for his children. He has done something that he hadn't done before, which is while he was incarcerated, has availed himself to parenting classes, to anger management classes, to a GED program, to a substance abuse program. He hasn't just been sitting around. In addition to that, Judge, while he was in federal custody, he was a trustee. While he's been in county, he's been a trustee. He appears from all conversations I've had with him and his father to have finally realized at 27 that this isn't the life that he wants for the rest of his life. He is subject to supervision under the federal case for another 3 years. He's on supervised release for another 3 years. And if the court continues him on his community supervision here, he's got another 5 years on his probation. And then, of course, if he screws up at any time, the court can hit him with the maximum. He understands that. He's asking the court to take one final chance on him. His father here is here, and his father believes that yes, in fact, he has changed the conversations. According to his father, the conversations between the two of them have switched from, poor me, when he got picked up in the federal system, shortly after that to, well, what am I doing to my family? What is this impact having on my son? He's got a 14-year-old son, I believe. Yes, a 10 and 14-year-old children, and then 10 and 8. I'm sorry, 10 and 8. And they're asking for him. He has regular contact with them, but they're asking, when's he going to come home? When can I see my dad? And that has had a profound impact on him. He also has I think a 14-month-old daughter that he's never seen in person.
Right, so this is what I don't understand. People always, when the rubber meets the road, then all of a sudden they have this epiphany. So whenever people are placed on probation in this court, I don't do cookie cutter conditions. So I gave you all the help. I sent you to SafeP, and that was, you're going to SafeP. I know it was in custody, but that was to help you with your drug issues. Then I ended up sending you to felony drug court. So, and this is not your first motion to revoke. So you would have thought I would have got your attention on August 2022 on that motion to revoke. And that motion to revoke, what I did was I alternate amended your conditions to ISF and also felony drug court, so they could get your life in together. And you know what you did when you came here on that date? You're like, I've changed. I realized, I had this epiphany. I realized that, I can't keep living my life like this. I'm going to get it together because I have children. I mean, the question for the court, I don't know who the mother of your children is or why she keeps saying, you know what, I'm going to give him another shot. Because you can't keep giving people different shots when children are involved, because children who are underage, they don't get to choose who their parents are. They don't get to choose, and say, you know what, dad keeps doing crazy stuff, going to jail, won't get his life in order. I'm not waiting around for him. And the mom just keeps hanging on as though the person is going to change. Maybe you have changed. Maybe this was the epiphany for you. I don't know. But at this court, this is the end of the road.
Judge,
So-
if I may, Judge.
Yes.
Christopher would like to address the court, and he's talked to me about the previous chances he's had, and he wants the court to understand what the difference is and how he came to that.
All right, you can
Position
raise your
of-
right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Christopher Belron.
All right, do you have questions?
Yes, John. Chris, you had indicated earlier to me that you wanted to address the court. You understand today that she's going to make a decision on your motion, on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke the probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
What is it that you wanted the judge to know before making that decision?
I want to let you know that, like, my first few times messing up, I was mentally weak. But this time around, I spent a lot of time getting myself together, like just doing things to better myself. Because I'm doing it for my kids, but I'm doing it for me too. I understand I messed up plenty of times, but I'm ready to be productive in my life. This ain't my life I want to live. This ain't me.
Because tell her the things that you did while you were in federal custody.
I was going to re-entry. I did AA. I did anger management. I did parenting. I also was holding a job. Just trying to stay positive, trying to stay out the way, and just get ready for when I come home.
Now, the previous times that you were either in jail waiting for a hearing or in jail waiting for the case, were you doing any of that kind of stuff?
No.
So what changed, or what made you want to do it this time?
We're just tired of this, It's time to grow up. I'm getting older, and I spend a lot of time incarcerated, so this ain't the life I want to live.
In fact, of the 5 years that you've been on deferred adjudication, about how many of those have you actually been on the street?
Like 8 months, 8-9 months.
The rest were spent either in jail or in some type of residential treatment facility, is that correct?
Yes.
Or in federal custody, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I had indicated earlier to the judge what the conversations I had with your father were. Is that about right? I mean, is your family supportive of you?
Yeah, my family is real supportive, and it's.
But your father straight up told you that he's not gonna tolerate any type of misbehavior, is that right?
Yes, my father's straightforward to me. He ain't, he'll let me know, like he lets me know right from wrong. He ain't gonna, how can I say this? He ain't gonna let me do wrong and not let me know that he's gonna be up forward to me, and my parents are, my family's very supportive of me. It's just I made mistakes,
But let's be straight with the court. Your father has straight out told you that he will have no problem reporting to your federal supervision officer or to a probation officer.
Oh, yeah.
If he sees that you're doing the kind of things that he's done in the past. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And you were incarcerated in the federal system for 21 months, is that right?
Yes.
Had you ever been locked up for that kind of time before?
No.
Is it the longest time you've ever had to sit out for anything?
Yes.
And then where you were locked up, the programs that you participated in, they weren't required by the federal system, were they?
No.
You did that on your own?
Yes.
We pass the witness.
All right, state.
Yes, how many children do you have?
3,
What are the ages?
10, 8, and 14 months.
And 14 months, so the 14-month-old, I guess the 8 months that you were out, you had a child.
Yes.
And what were you doing during those 8 months?
No, I wasn't out for 8 months. I was only out for like 2 months.
2 months, so within that 2 months, you
I was
had a child.
Yes.
What were you doing during those 2 months? Were you
I was
working?
I was reporting to drug court, but I was like reporting like 3-4 times a week, and drug court wasn't allowing me to have a job, but I was working side jobs as much as I can. Like,
Okay, so for 2 months, you managed to get somebody pregnant and did not have a job. Is that correct?
yeah,
And I know that you state that your father is supportive of you. Your father's been around you your whole life. And you've managed to pick up new cases, federal cases during that time. Is that correct?
yes, it was a mistake.
I understand it's a mistake. It's more like a choice. Correct? And you chose to pick up another case and get caught. And your father was supportive still during that time because he's your father. Is that right?
And supportive in what way?
And being here for you. He came here today for you, didn't he?
Yes.
And this is your third NPR, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you're asking the court to actually give you another chance, really a third or fourth chance.
Yes.
And you still owe restitution of over $2,000 to the victim of your burglary of habitation, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions, John.
Now, are you wanting to pay back that restitution?
Yes.
You had said that the drug court program made it difficult for you to find employment, is that right?
Yes.
How were you surviving when you were not incarcerated?
Really just to support my family, feeding my kids, little things like that,
You said you were doing side jobs. What kind of side jobs were you
And
doing?
I was doing painting, so helping the subcontractors paint.
Okay. And that's the kind of skill that kind of job you typically have?
Yes, I worked in a refinery doing that.
Okay. Now, when you say that your father's supportive, your father's always going to be there for you. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
But there are degrees of support. I mean, he's not, I've spoken to your father. He's not the kind of person that's going to say, fine, go out and do whatever criminal activity you want to do. Is he? Like, he's not that kind of person at all, is he?
No.
Yeah. And in fact, he's straight up told me anyway, and I think he's told you too, hasn't he, that anything that while you're on supervised release, if any kind of violations, he doesn't have any problem advising the federal system of that.
Yes.
You think he'd do the same thing for this court?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Any further questions?
No question.
I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had all of this going on in your life, these criminal cases. Why would you go out and decide to have a child with somebody when your life is not even together?
It wasn't. Just happened,
I mean, things don't just happen. I mean, you
I
were an
understand.
active participant, I'm assuming. Nobody was drugged.
I understand.
So when you didn't have employment, how were you feeding yourself?
I would work little side jobs here and there with the subcontractor I used to work with.
Right, and where were you staying? Who were you staying with?
I was staying at my father's house.
All right, so you had, even though drug court was putting #1 on their list for you to maintain your sobriety, you did have a place to stay.
Yes.
All right. And then this is the third motion to revoke for you.
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to continue down this path of giving you more and more chances. The court is finding violation of condition number 41 true. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty, revoke, and the court is finding you guilty of counts 1 and counts 2. Probation, what is the restitution amount?
Judge, the remaining balance or the restitution is $2,734.
And who is that to?
There are 2 victims, Anna Martinez and Stephanie Carrazzo.
Mhm.
I can check to see if we have him separated.
All right, while she's checking on that, state, what are you requesting with regards to punishment?
The state's requesting no less than 10 years. Texas Department of Corrections.
Defense?
Your Honor, he's spent 2 years incarcerated already on the federal system, and I understand that's not the same case, but it did give him a timeout, Judge, and it did, I think, affect his thinking and his thinking going forward. Judge, we would ask the court to consider something at the very minimum, 2 or 3 years.
All right, I'm not going to give you 2 or 3 years. I'm going to follow the state's recommendation of sentencing you to 10 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Probation, do you have restitution amount?
Dollars, Anna Martinez.
Oh, just 1 second. The printer is going. All right, what amount?
$700 to Anna Martinez and $2,034 to Stephanie Carrizo, Carrisal.
All right. So the court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison in counts 1 and counts 2. Counts 1 and count 2 are to run concurrently. There's to be restitution and no contact with Anna Martinez. The restitution amount is $700. There's to be restitution and no contact with Stephanie Carrillis. The restitution amount is $2,034. And as previously stated, the cases are running concurrently, and the court is going to sentence you to a $10,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrently. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? You have a limited right to appeal, and that right is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Also ask for the therapeutic community. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, still on the record. Will the court be giving him credit for the time that he's been in safety? He spent two trips over there, 181 days on one and 161 days.
Only if he successfully completed that and successfully completed the outpatient portion of that as well.
I know, Judge, he successfully completed the program itself. I don't know. I don't believe he.
All right, once you
sure
give me
on the
that
outpatient.
information, if he successfully completed it, then the court will give him credit.
Thank you. And Judge, would the court consider giving him credit for the time that he spent in the federal system?
It depends on whether or not this motion to revoke was still pending at that time.
We can check on that real fast.
All right, thank you.
I touch on those as well.
Who is here on Alfredo Rabago? Who's the attorney for Alfredo Rabago?
Coleman?
Did Rabago judge?
Hmm?
Did Rabago? Probably right there.
It's Rabago.
I pronounce it Rabago, Judge.
Okay.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, so where are we on discovery?
Judge, he has 2 cases. One had been indicted. I learned this morning that the other case had been indicted. I have not had a chance to review that indictment, Judge.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a 30-day reset for discovery. All right, your discovery date will be April 3rd.
Very good, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Maybe an excuse.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
What about my bond?
Not here, it's not here.
Just give me a moment.
Yeah, so. Hold on, I don't feel that how much hard,
And Norma, what page is Rabago on?
Read at the bottom.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Salazar, Sammy Salazar.
Present, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Salazar. Where's he?
Last time I checked, he's in custody.
All right, they'll have to bring him out.
Well, he was waiting a competency hearing. I don't think it's been done yet.
All right.
That's why I was checking out.
You reset it to check the status of it.
Mhm.
It's still not correct.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson will contact you on when you can come back on this case. I'm gonna check on this myself to see what's happening with the company.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Gerardo Morales. Hello.
Hi, Judge. How are you today?
All right, how are you doing?
Nice to see you. So I have to, I had a little giggle. I'm gonna sound a little crazy, but I have a witch. And he sent me a video of you yesterday.
Okay.
He's like, do you know her?
Oh.
I was like, yes, I'll see her tomorrow.
Okay. Tell him I said hello.
I will. He'll be very excited.
All right, so where are we on discovery on this case?
So I worked with Mr. Edelman on this. There's a little more discovery or investigation I'd like to do on my own. So we are asking for a reset of about 30 days so I can contact some potential witnesses and provide
All right,
some new
Ms.
information.
Ferguson, recall this in 30 days and state, have you tendered an offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
April 3rd.
All right, April 3rd is going to be your plea deadline date, and that date, sir, you'll need to let the court know whether you've reached an agreement. If you have not reached an agreement, your next setting will be a jury trial date.
Sounds perfect.
All
We
right,
should have
thank
it
you.
resolved by then.
Okay, thank you.
Just have a
May I
seat,
be
sir.
excused?
Yes, yes.
Okay, April 4th.
Welcome. Thank you, Judge. Yes.
Yes. Amber Salazar.
Ready, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2024 CR 009461, State versus Amber Salazar. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ashley Jones.
Defense.
I'm Al Dapa on behalf of Amber Nicole Salazar.
And are you Ms. Salazar?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Salazar, did you review the application for deferred adjudication or community supervision with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? And probation, this is an application.
We
Ms.
filled out the
Salazar,
personal data sheet, so they have it already.
Thank you. Ms. Salazar, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with injury to the child, elderly, or disabled with bodily injury as a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yeah.
Please do not talk behind us when we're on the record. Just ask the deputy to move you down to that end. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Salazar, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with 2025 CC 002683. The state will take into consideration 2024 CC 742687, and there is an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be no contact with Dominic, Dominic Orozco, Diego Orozco, Johanna Rodriguez, anger management, parenting classes, and TAP evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State will offer State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
And state, have you spoken with the complainants? All right, did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there a Child Protective Services case open?
Your Honor.
Is there a CPS case open on you?
I'm on TPS, that's right.
All right, and what is your status in CPS court? Are you following their recommendations?
Yes, I'm following our recommendations. I'm abiding by every rule that they have, and when I get out, I have to call my caseworker.
All right. Have you ever had any mental health issues?
No, Your Honor.
Do you live by yourself?
No, Your Honor.
Who do you live with?
My grandpa and my uncle.
All right, are there any underage children?
No, Your Honor.
And is this the only child you have?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's to be 5 years deferred adjudication. This runs concurrent with 2025 CC 002-683. Taking consideration 2024 CC 742687. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. When's the last time you had employment?
Before I got in,
She has two jobs,
I
actually.
have to.
Doing what?
I'm a manager at China Rose and I help take care of my mother.
All right. So that job where you take care of your mother, that's off the table. I don't allow people to be home healthcare providers or work with the elderly. Do you
She's-
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
She's a manager at a Chinese restaurant.
I mean, well, she can do that, but I'm not allowing her to get paid for taking care of her relative because that's a home health care provider in the court's eyes. And I don't allow that. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be no unsupervised contact with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, if you can make sure that she is not the person who's taking care of her relative. There is to be no contact with Dominique Orozco, Diego Orozco. And I know I'm mispronouncing that. It's Orozco. Johanna Rodriguez. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'll deduct 100 hours for parenting classes, which I'm requiring. Have you ever had any drug issues?
No, Your Honor.
Have you ever been prescribed any type of mental health issue, any type of mental health medication in the past?
In the past, yes, Your Honor.
For what?
Just anxiety and depression.
All right, so there's the TAP evaluation and MIC evaluation out of custody. And if needed, a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. And I'll deduct another 100 hours for anger management. Probation, is there anything else?
Okay. Okay.
Wait, just one
Regular
second.
random.
Yes, regular random UAs and regular reporting by Zoom or in person. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, when you have children, children may upset you, but you're not supposed to be hitting children in anger.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I asked
And I
her
know
what happened,
people-
Judge,
Yes.
and because she seems pretty meek. And I said, the police report doesn't reflect that. And I said, are you an alcoholic? So she was very upfront. I'm an alcoholic. I should not have been drinking. I shouldn't have been.
Well, she shouldn't have been drinking and driving. And I will tell you, alcohol, this is what I've discovered about alcohol. When people drink a lot of alcohol and they do things, they say, well, you know, the alcohol made me do it. Alcohol didn't make you do it. That's what you wanted to do. Maybe alcohol gave you courage to do it. But what I'm telling you is, you should not be putting your hands on children in anger or anybody in anger. And, you know, people want to discipline their children by spanking them. You know, that's not against the law. But guess what? If somebody were to just spank an adult or hit an adult because you won't listen, like, why is this food don't taste good? Why doesn't the food taste good? You know, why isn't the trash taken out at this time? If somebody in a relationship were an adult were to hit somebody because they didn't do the dishes, you know how sometimes you have children and they're supposed to do chores, and sometimes parents will hit them because they didn't do the chores. By that same token, if an adult were to get hit for not doing their chores, you know what they call that? Assault, family violence. If an adult, you know, doesn't have the table made up the way somebody wants it made up, and somebody hits them, or if they didn't make the bed in the morning and somebody hits them, guess what that is? That's an assault. But with the child, people say, that's okay. So what I can tell you, your son Dominique is gonna always remember what you did. And you're gonna have to start doing better to make that up for him and to let him know that he can trust you and that you're not gonna hit him out of anger. You understand?
And Your Honor, just for the record, we didn't bring that up to negate responsibility. It was just for her to recognize the problem that she has.
Okay. All right, you're gonna have to do better.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck.
Excuse?
Yes. Joseph Krueger.
Your Honor, we're here on that one. Krueger's in custody out of county and will not be here. This was set for a restitution hearing. This was the bench trial we had a couple of weeks ago. There was a restitution hearing on the cases that were dismissed. We don't have Mr. Krueger. Again, he's in Guadalupe County, and I don't know what I don't know what the state intends to do.
State on Krueger?
There may not be restitution though. We reset it just to determine that factor.
All right. Do you know about the restitution? When are you going to know something about the restitution? All right. So Norma, reset this for 2 weeks. If the state doesn't have any information on restitution, then the matter of restitution is going to be closed.
Yes, ma'am. I don't think there is, honestly, but we'll check. That works.
All right. So we'll see you back on March 20th. And what page is he on?
We don't pay date, sorry.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Yeah.
And Nova, see if you can make sure that he's here. And don't add any more files. All right, who's here on Moses Wamu?
Your Honor.
Guadalupe, I believe.
All right, so, yes,
Yeah.
where?
Judge, on this case, although I had reached out to the MAC, this court had appointed Teresa Coles Davila, and I provided her with copies of the indictments. And she's, on Monday, communicates to me that she won't finish it by this week.
Okay.
Just, I don't think we need much more time.
You want it the week of March 24th, and if you all have it done
Yes.
before then, you can come in sooner.
Correct. And there's just one thing I can bring to your attention. You had signed an order for his release for GPS work release January 31st. And on February 24th, it was resent a directive to the jail, and he's still in custody.
All right, if you'll check with Ms. Ferguson
Okay.
on that. And Norma, what date, the week of March 24th? And it's on Wamuyu?
Yes.
Right. Yes, the week of March 24th.
Oh, okay, I can do the 27th.
27th.
All right, so we'll do March 27th, and that's for the immigration report.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And then if you'll check with Ms. Ferguson.
I
on the
will.
other matter.
I will, Bob. Thank you, Judge. And Your Honor, on the different person, state starting paperwork for a plea, am I able to do this? If not now, but like this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
He's done.
Alexander Rangel. Mr. Rangel, come down.
Yes. I'm sorry.
And after this one, we're taking our lunch. Thank you. All right, so on Rangel, you're requesting a bond.
Yes, Your Honor, he's remanded without bond.
Why is he remanded without bond?
Well, apparently he's got a MTR. And we're just asking the court, I've already discussed it with the prosecution. They've recommended a $20,000 bond, so we're asking if you would.
Well, what is it? Does anybody have the motion to revoke on Rangel? What's the allegations in the motion to
I do,
revoke?
Your Honor. I've got it here.
So you're asking for a bond on this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. And also a referral to Veterans Court. Apparently, Mr. Brian Hill's got a pretty impressive binder of just awards and things that he did while he was in the military. I've already talked to Ada. Adina Ruz.
Mhm.
And I've forwarded the paperwork to them. They said it does look favorable. But apparently they're accepting referrals, but they're not going to be able to evaluate until March 27th.
Mhm.
So if you would just allow him to apply for the Veterans Court, see if they can help him. He does have PTSD and he's got some issues. And he needs assistance.
All right. We can go on the record, but I will tell you, it is 12:10.
Yes,
I'll hear the evidence that you're going to present for a request for bond amount, and then I'm gonna think about it over the break, and I'll set it. Okay. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 1312W State versus Alexander Rangel. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett,
Defense.
Jesse Sepulveda.
And are you Mr. Rangel?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you have a motion to revoke, and on that motion to revoke, you do not have bond and defense. You're asking for a bond to be set.
I am, Your Honor.
And it's my understanding that the defense and state have reached an agreement on a bond amount.
That is correct, John.
And what will be that bond amount?
That would be $20,000 to also include a condition of scram, Your Honor.
That is correct, Judge. And I would be making the bond from what my client tells me and what his mother, who is here. Stand up, Miss Client.
Hello.
He will be residing with her.
All right, does he have a vehicle? Does he have access to a vehicle?
No, ma'am.
You want to raise your right hand? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Alexander Rangel, ma'am.
All right, do you have access to a vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Does your mom have a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have access to a vehicle.
Oh, no, but no, she don't let me use it now.
I don't know if that's something you all want to consider with regards to asking for scram.
Judge, one of the state uses position or is the position, they ask for anything that they have vehicle access to have ignition unlock, install them up with them, if you list within that time.
I believe the mother would be receptive to that, Your Honor, if you would allow him to do that.
All right, how many vehicles are at the household?
What's that, ma'am?
How many vehicles are at that household?
Just hers, ma'am.
Okay. All right, is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
State, Your Honor.
All right, let's recall this. Vashawn, how long do you think Veterans Treatment Court needs to review Mr. Alexander Rangel for Veterans Treatment Court? Defense said he's already reached out to them.
Yes, Judge. The end of March, Judge.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this for a hearing, and this hearing is going at the end of the March on this motion to revoke. What date?
Judge. Can I have the first of April?
Yes. So this is gonna be recalled for April 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
And actually, I have thought about your bond while we've been talking. So what the court is going to do, the court is going to grant the agreed bond amount. The bond is going to be set at $20,000. And there is going to be ignition interlock on all vehicles at residence. And there's going to be referral to the VA. You either need to go to the VA or either the Center for Healthcare Services for any mental health issues. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And that needs to be done time when you're released. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if possible, if you choose the VA, then they can give you sober support meetings as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm going to order 30 sober meetings in 30 days. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple questions, Judge.
Yes.
Is the ignition lock being installed in lieu of the scram or in addition to the scram?
State.
The state was requesting both, Your Honor.
All right. Ignition interlock and scram.
And how long will she have to have the ignition lock installed on the vehicle?
If he's planning on being released today, then it needs to be installed tomorrow if it's available. Scram or something needs to be installed. So
We give them 7 days to kind of make an appointment and have it installed.
no, the problem is, and we can go off the record, here's the problem. You're on for a alcohol case, and then I have alcohol issues within the motion to revoke. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not accepting it as true, but just looking at it, you have an alcohol problem, there's mental health issues, and that needs to be taken care of. So I'm not going to give him 7 days to put the ignition interlock on. I tell you what, he needs to have the ignition interlock on by March 4th.
Thank you.
And she already said on March 3rd.
All right. Let's recall that for April 1st. And if you'll give him a reset form, so ignition interlock and scram, installation due no later than March 4th. You understand? Yes.
Oh, Judge, I was gonna ask for the clause number.
Oh, it is 2021 CR 1312W.